You're listening to Muzilog Muzik Radio, home of indie artists.
Keep it locked.
As we continue to make it a great day, whatever time it is on your end of the planet. Samel, your host. It's the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show. That's what's up. That's what's up. Shout out to the International Village. It's been a minute. Shout out to my Anytimers, to my straight shooters, and to my cyber life junkies. What's up? What's up? What's up? It's been a minute. Don't forget, on this show, we're spreading love. The Brooklyn way. Right. Spreading love the Brooklyn way, baby. And we talk about the things I like to talk about. Yeah. It's not about me necessarily, but it's the things I like to talk about. So welcome to the new season. We did a season last season. Yeah, that was the last season. I didn't even know it was a season. It was just, some radio episodes. We went up to 10 episodes. And I'm still rocking some good coffee here. By the way, I have my own Tumblr. It's called, I have the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show Tumblr. And you should get your Tumblr. And put your coffee in it and maybe a hot chocolate, whatever you rock with, and vibe with me. Hallelujah. So a lot has been happening. I thought that I would have some people that would pound my door down, like, yo, what's up with the radio show? Believe it or not, only the platforms kept checking it. The platforms, I must say. I remember I got some emails from Mixcloud, and they're like, hey, we miss you. What's up? I don't know if they miss me or they miss the subscription. We'll see. We'll put that to the test, And the platforms would send you little alerts. Hey, it's been a minute. What's going on? Yada yada yada. But I thought I would hear from my listeners. The people who coaxed me into putting this thing together. I thought I would at least hear from you guys. Say, hey, what's up? I need an episode. I heard nothing from you. I was kind of wondering. But truth be told, putting all jokes aside, there was, I think what it is, some people knew that I got kind of busy. I was busy getting some things together. And we did that first season of 10 episodes. And I was actually listening to one the other day, and I guess for me it's a thing to have to listen to your voice. Messing it up here. Gotta get used to that. But I thought that they were kind of entertaining, and the funny thing is, I even forgot some of the stuff I said on these shows. They were pretty profound, I must say. Yeah, pretty profound. One of the things that changed, we were, pushing that subscriber drive. We need subscribers to the channel. Actually, why don't I pull up the YouTube page here and see what we're looking at. But I'm happy that things have progressed for the platform. Let's go to the channel here, see what we're looking at, and let's see. I think the last show we were probably maybe close to 2,000. If we didn't do like around 2,000 subscribers, we're now at 14,000.3 subscribers, guys. That's a beautiful thing. So, the community is growing. Just that I have to get you guys a little more interactive, a little more, a little more interactive. And there's always more work to do, right? I think that's what it is. So, I think that deserves a little round of applause, closing into 15,000. I mean, it was so hard getting to 2,000 subscribers. Oh, that was some hard work. Oh, man. And I have a feeling there were a few people who just had enough of my text and my emails and so on. They were like, oh, what is he selling now? What is Sam doing now? But I know they kept that inside and still opened my email and my text and said, okay, he needs me to just go over here and hit the like button. So let's hit the like button for Sam. That's what's up. That's what's up. So welcome to the new season. I did a little bit of revamping. I think in the last episode of season 1, I had just bought this mic, this Shure mic. They ain't paying me to say hello about their mic, to shout their mic out. But shout out to the Shure company. You make good stuff. That's what I gotta say. The Shure company makes good stuff. Why not? We have a good mic. We're even recording in a new. I'm recording in a new vibe right now. We'll see how that turns out. It's a different thing, you got to improve the platform as you go. So it's just one of those things that that I would be doing. And any creative, once you're working on something and building and developing, you will do tweaks as you go. And improve certain things and touch up certain things. And it's just a part of life. Yeah, so we still want to encourage folks to subscribe. We want to encourage you to share the show. We want to keep the movement going. We want to keep that vibe as strong as we can. So what's happening at Muzilog now? For those of you who are new, this radio show is under the umbrella of the Muzilog platform, and Muzilog is spelled M-U-Z-I-L-O-G. About a year ago, we included a radio station. It's called Muzilog Muzik Radio, the home of indie artists. So we're like one of a kind. We have our own publication, we have our own radio station, and the station actually features the artists that we either do a write-up on or that we interview. Plus, we have the Muzilog magazine podcast. So yeah, it's really Muziloggy out here. We're just going in, developing the platform, and I had a couple of cool interviews recently. Let me see if I can find my. Let's look here real quick. See if I can find my page. Let's go here. By the way, this is just a side note. There's a really cool documentary on the podcast platform. It's called Tough Cookie. Now, it seems like Vanity Fair has something to do with it, but it's a documentary on Famous Amos. Wally Famous Amos story. That's the brother who started the cookie company, and I think you guys are still eating Famous Amos cookies today. So you guys might want to check that out if you so desire. I thought it was good. I'm still listening to it. There's some happy moments. There's some fun moments. There's some real intense moments. It's a real documentary, and I must say, it's good to learn about different people that brought something to the game. And you hear the aftermath of how the family feels or how they felt. And I just think at the end of the day, just be happy you're here. Regardless of how you got here, you're here. And you have the gift of life. Just use it to the best of your ability. Make it happen. So my page finally opened up here, and I'm on the Muzilog magazine podcast page. And let's see here. I know we did Tori Helen. Is it Helen or Helene? It's the R&B artist. And we did an interview with her. We had John Fadem on. We had Eric Deutsch on. Shout out to the jazz musicians there. We had Lisa London on, and actually my students, couples, not all of them obviously, but some of my students tuned in. Those of the ones who follow me on LinkedIn were able to check out that episode, and I got some feedback. They thought it was very informative and helpful. And Lisa London is also a radio personality. She does the Lisa London Show, and she also has a radio station too, based in Chicago. So shout out to Lisa London and the radio family there. And then not too long after that, we did an interview with Pepper Thomas, another radio personality. And, shout out to Pepper Thomas and the Hot Pepper Show. In fact, I met both people through the Urban Influencer. So shout out to the Urban Influencer family. It's really, really cool to network and meet people and do things. And, they say no man is an island. You got to have other people helping you, whether it's direct or indirect. And there's this jazz artist that just before Examiner closed out, and Examiner was a paper that I wrote for. Well, I said paper, it's an online publication. It was similar to the Huffington Post, where you just have contributing writers in different places of the country or the world. And, these contributing writers would just send in stories, and they created content for the platform. So Examiner, I don't remember when they closed out. But this artist by the name of Jessie J, she had just dropped a new record called Hot Sauce. And she was signed to the Concord Jazz label. And, I just didn't get a chance to connect with her at that time. We're talking maybe, 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. So I happened to be following her on Facebook, and she did a post or something, and then I actually reached out and said, hey, could we get an interview done? And so she responded, and we did get a Jessie J interview done, and it's really, really good. I thought it came out great. It was good interviewing someone that's in the industry and doing her thing. And, she was very candid about her beginning, and we spoke about a couple of her records. So, the Jessie J interview is also on the Muzilog Magazine podcast platform. And we also had Atina. We had Atina on. R&B artist. She just dropped a new single called Little Things, so shout out to Atina. Now she says the H is silent, okay, so because when you see her name you'll see the H in the front. So if the H is silent, I have questions. I have questions, Atina. But anyway, that interview is there, and the until I upload some new episodes, I actually have about 3 interviews in the can that I'm editing. I'm learning a lesson with when I'm doing my interviews. I'm learning a lesson that the recording process has to be on point. The Wi-Fi needs to be good. The mics need to be good. The audio. It's true I can do some magic with the technology. I can do some magic with the technology. But, you got to have the time to sit there and clean things up, especially if the audio has echo to it, so it does affect the work a little bit. So sometimes when I do an interview, the time it takes to get it edited and then released or aired, it all depends on how great the process of the recording was. If the recording was really good, the editing is a lot easier and you can get that interview up. But I really like to take the time to make sure that my guests look good and sound good when we do the broadcasting, so but until that happens, we have Kame, who I also met via the Urban Influencer, and she has some new music out. She's actually when we did the interview, she was out in where was she? It's South Asia, I think she was in. She was out in South Asia, and it was interesting. We were on other ends of the spectrum, and 9 o'clock in the morning for me was 9 o'clock in the evening for her. So she was about to get into bed, and I'm about to start my day. It was an interesting dynamic there. So, and she has a lot of amazing things going on. So, check out the Kame interview on the platform. Now we've been creeping up on this this podcast platform. Now, I don't know if we crossed the 80s. We were somewhere in the 80s, like we were like 87, and then we moved up to 85, and then we moved up to like 83. So we've been creeping up a little bit. Let me see here if I could find that page real quick. Is it 1 million? Let me see here. Might be that. Yeah, million podcast database. Yeah, shout out to those guys. I don't know totally what their whole vibe is about, but the Muzilog Magazine podcast is on their platform. So it's millionpodcasts.com. Let me see if I can find the chart. It would probably be the music interview. Let's see here. Music interview podcast. Let's see if that's the one that we're looking for. While I'm doing that, we're in that time of year. We're in the seasonal time of year. So those of you who, had, I think I heard two terms of late. I'm going to get in trouble. But one was Thanksgiving, and then the other one was thanks-taking. I heard that term. I'm like, oh, thanks-taking. And, if you've been around, you hear all different types of narratives going around. And it's just good to learn. It's good to learn what's out there. How people are thinking, how people feel, and just be aware of the different point of views, different opinions. And through it all, if you can give thanks or have something that you're thankful about, by all means, So I actually found that page. It's called the Best 100 Music Interview Podcasts in the U.S. And let's see what it looks like here. Now, you have Bobbycast and Questlove Supreme. They're just in the number 1 and number 2 spots here. That means they're doing something really good. Something really good. So on this actual chart, I would love to get into the top 5. So we're working on it, and let's see if we moved up or if we fell off or fell back. Shout out to the Halftime Chat R&B podcast with Nnamdi Okoye. All right, he's based in the UK. He does some good work, so shout out to him. I do check out his interviews. He really captured a nice era in music, if I should say so myself. A really, really nice era in music he captured. He's been focusing on the New Jack Swing era, which was, let's say, the mid to late 80s, going into the 90s. You had a guy called Teddy Riley, producer extraordinaire, musician extraordinaire, that brought a type of music to the game and changed the trajectory of the sound. There's a few people that has done that. My mind goes to Jay Dilla, and unfortunately he passed on. But Jay Dilla did shape things. He changed the trajectory of the sound. Teddy Riley changed the trajectory of the sound. Timbaland. I remember when Timbaland, brought his brand of music to the table, and he did his thing. So I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was a pretty good. These are people that we should remember, and they did bring something special to the game. So the Halftime Chat podcasts, they primarily dealing with the 90s and the the late 80s, early 90s, until the music did switch up later on with the likes of your Jay Dilla and Timbaland. I think the Neptunes did a little thing too, where they brought something different to the table. They did their thing. I'm going through the thing here. I think I might be on the wrong chart. Yeah, this is not the one I looked at the other day. This is a different. They're different ones, and I'm seeing like the numbers have shifted here. So I need to find the right one. I need to find the right chart. Let's see here. We got a top podcast rankings here. Okay. I've never came to this. I never came to this part of the website. Interesting. It looks like I have some work to do, guys. Well, you know what? Let's move on. We just have so much fun things to discuss, but I thought I would just, browse around and see where we are presently, and you could do some research too. I'm open to ideas. If there's a topic you want me to rock with, feel free to shoot me a word or a line, And use any of the Muzilog pages that's on social media. When I get a chance, I get to check the correspondences. So we have, Muzilog has a page on Facebook. So if you're not following us on Facebook, take some time and get out there and vibe with us. And depending on what platform you're listening to the different podcasts, you have Apple Podcasts. Is it Apple Podcasts? Let's see here. It's just podcasts. Well, so that's the Apple platform. And then you have Spotify. And there are others. If you Google or do a search and put in Muzilog Magazine podcast, you're pretty much going to see pretty much all the different ones where Muzilog is. All right, and you can take advantage of that and really dig in and support us that way. And again, we're open to ideas. So, one of the things I want to remind my listeners is on this show, I like to be in the spirit of pulling the plug, focus. There's a scene in The Matrix in the beginning where a guy is I think he hired Neo. Obviously we're talking in characters. He hires Neo to get him some information. So here Neo is playing the role of like he's a hacker of some sort. And so the guy comes to his door, and he gives the guy the stuff that you had to go and do the hacking for. And he says, "Hey, if you get caught, I'll deny everything." And this is the part of the movie where he had to follow the girl with the white rabbit tattoo. She had, so I don't want to give all of that away, but there was a lot of stuff going on. But there was a scene, the same scene, the guy says to Neo, you need to unplug. So cyber junkies, or my cyber life junkies, sometimes you need to unplug, just pull the plug of the focus away a little bit. replenish your mind, body, and soul. You got to replenish. And with that renewed strength, you can get through the ongoing challenges. All right. It's good to just take a break and, get back and do things. Get back and face the music. Work it out. And we still have the Muzilog Muzik Radio. We're going to be doing some updates over there. We're going to increase the different directories and what we would call like media players. I think primarily we have the media player on the website. You'd have to go to muzilog.com and go onto the radio page. That's still going to be there, but we're going to have some added ones really soon. So stay tuned. And our schedule is pretty much still the same. The only thing that we've done is that we've added Jazzy Wednesdays. So on Wednesdays, if you're a jazz head, tune in on a Wednesday and you'd hear some indie jazz. All right, so that's the different, or should I say, that's the new addition. But besides that, Saturdays are still spiritual Saturdays. Sundays are still soca Sundays. Mondays are reggae Mondays. We still focus on that on the weekend. And then, by Tuesday, we do New Music Tuesday. All right. So a lot of the new music that's dropping, you can hang out with us on that day and make it work. Oh, by the way, when the show begins, you normally hear a station ID. That is Nikki G, the voice. So those of you who need someone to do voiceover for you, get with Nikki G, the voice. In fact, you could just search engine Nikki G, the voice, and her information will come up. Yes, and the reason why I'm bringing that up is she did an interview with me. Probably might have been about a month ago. It was really around the time of Tobago Carnival. That would have been in October of this year. So the interview aired, I think, this week on the Muzilog platform. It did air on her platform before, but I had to re-edit it. Once you have copyright music on your shows, it gets blocked on certain platforms and so on. So I had to do a re-edit for that. But we spoke about a lot of interesting things. I did speak about my background a little bit on there. So if you want to know a little bit more about me, check out that interview. So you can either check it out on Nikki G's The Voice on her platform, and I'll put that information in the description area. I'll put the link down there. Now we don't do links in bios, okay? Yes, we don't. We're not going to do the link in the bio thing. But yeah, the link is going to be in the description. Or you can also check out the edited versions. So either one, you have options. Okay? So that would be a beautiful thing. And we're still talking about The Hybrid Executive, the book that I authored some years ago. It was released around 2019. We actually have like a movement in reference to the book. I didn't see that coming, but a couple of people are really championing The Hybrid Executive. They're really thinking that it's a really good read. It's an easy read, and so I'm on the verge of prepping or getting some information out about doing a MasterClass. So those of you who want to get in on the MasterClass with me, which it's, the MasterClass is going to be based on the book, obviously, a lot of the things I talk about in the book. And maybe you need a synopsis of what the book is all about. Well, today's artists and indie artists, whether you're signed or you're with an independent company, or you're the company that's independent, you have to also not be not just be the artist, but now you're also the executive. So you're composing your music, you're writing, composing, recording, mixing, mastering, packaging, marketing. You're the executive now, and that's what the term hybrid executive. That's where it comes from. So today's artists, especially those in the indie category or in the indie sector, you are now what we call hybrid executives. So there's a little science to the name. I didn't just pull a name out of a hat. But you're a hybrid, and also when you look at a lot of the traditional record companies, a lot of those department walls are broken down. You have a lot of duties overlapping. So I pretty much focus on those things in the book, and it's really more about concepts. It's not necessarily like methods, but more of concepts. And, you understand concepts, you can go a long way. Concepts never change, but methods do. So it's not a how-to book. It's more of concepts and self-help. And I've also gotten some feedback from people who are not in the music industry, who thought the book was very helpful as well. So the principles can transcend, categories, if that makes sense. So it can transcend, different walks of life. So even if you're not in the music business, there's something you can still gain from that. We're still running our business card promotion package. So you want to get some more on that, feel free to reach out. There'll be links in the description on that. And actually, those of you who are regular listeners to the show, and those of you who are not, a lot of what I talk about would be in the description, all the links. You'd get that there. So make sure you check out the description in the just below the episode, YouTube, and I think for the Anytime, Anyday radio show. Primarily, we're on Mixcloud and YouTube. So those are like the primary spots that the episodes would be. It also would stream on LinkedIn and Facebook, but those are more of like it's when we broadcast the episode. But if you want to see a lot more, where hey, what, I want to really check out the first season of the radio show, you can do that either in Mixcloud or in YouTube. Just put in Anytime, Anyday Radio Show, and that should pop up there, and you can go from there and support as well. And we also have hybrid executive gear. Pretty much that's where all you want anything that you might see me wearing, either in my interviews or maybe you saw me on the street and you like the hoodie I'm wearing, or you like the design, just search hybrid executive gear and you should be able to see all the designs that I have there. I do call my clothing project. I'm going to call. I didn't want to call it the other thing. I'm calling it a project because it's ongoing. But it's called Samuel Archer Designs. So if you even do a search on that by no space between the words, just one word, Samuel Archer Designs, one word. That should take you to pretty much all the areas on the internet that you can get. You can get merch in terms of clothes on the designs that we have. Now, I have like 3 companies I work with because each company has something that the other company doesn't have, right? And I'm talking in terms of the different types of outfits. So T-Public is one of them. T-Public, and then you have Spring Tees, and then you have Spreadshirt. So all 3 companies, you can go there and find the designs that I do. So you can check that out there and work it out. And also I'm available for some feedback. If you guys want to do a little feedback vibe, then by all means, we can definitely make that happen. Again, it's the Anytime, Any Day radio show. I'm your host, Samuel Archer, and we're spreading love the Brooklyn way. Shout out to my folks in Brooklyn. Shout out to the International Village. This is the new season of the radio show. So bump it in your Jeep, in the barbershop, in the hair salon. I don't know where else. Don't bump it in the church. You might get in trouble because I talk about all types of stuff on here. So you want to be careful with that. Okay. So there's a couple of things I want to talk about today. I sort of feel a little bit out of the mix a little bit. I haven't sat behind a mic like this for a little bit. A little bit out of sync. My coffee is normally in one area. I have it in another area. It's a little different, and that goes with the tweaking and adjusting, right? I hope it sounds good out there, because I'm the guy with the soothing voice, and we're gonna make this work. You're gonna get this work too. Alrighty. So I touched on this topic some time ago, but I just touched on it, and I wanted to bring some good game. And actually, there's going to be some really, really beautiful topics that I'm going to address. So in the downtime from the last season, I would just do some research on different topics. So stay tuned. Continue to share the show. Continue to talk about the show. There's a lot of conversation pieces that we're going to have in the upcoming episodes. So stay tuned. But this part of the program, I want to talk about purpose fuel. What the hell is purpose fuel? What in the world is that? So I want to start with 2 questions, and this is a self reflection or self-evaluation, introspective type of a look you want to look at here. Are you here to build, or are you here to tear down? It's a it's a good question. Something to think about. Like, are you someone that looks into making life better for humanity across the board? Is it all about me? I got to tear everything down so that I can succeed. What is that whole thing right there? There's a movie I like called Cloud Atlas, starring Tom Hanks and Halle Berry. And if you've never seen it, I'll suggest you take a look at it. It does tap into the thought process of reincarnation, and it's a topic I'm open to. It's not necessarily something to live or die by, but it's cool to have an open mind and think sometimes. Now, I'm not sure if I personally get into reincarnation, and this is just a sideshow. We're going to get back to our main topic. I do think that there's a lot of unexplained dynamics to our lives that we have not yet explored. And that is the whole DNA thing. I think there's a lot of things in the DNA that's there that is representative of our ancestors across the board. There's a coding there that occurs, and I say that because when I went to the island of Gori and I went to that slave fort there, and the island of Gori is a little island off of Senegal, off the coast of Senegal, right there. It's a little ferry that takes you. In fact, it sort of reminds me of the Tobago a little bit. It has like a Tobago vibe. When I went to the slave fort, I actually felt like I was there before. And it was my first time going there. So, was that reincarnation, or was that my DNA just, the signals went up because it was part of the ancestors' path, right? Or one of my ancestors passed through there, or maybe two, right? You have the father side and the mother side. Who knows how these things go? But anyway, let's get back to the topic of the purpose fuel. We have to examine what was the purpose? What is this all about? Why are we here sucking up the oxygen? Looking at all the different opportunities and the things we gravitate to and the things that we pick to pursue. What's the end game? Sitting in a room with a pile of money from the bottom to the ceiling? Or is the end game a big house with a white picket fence and a pool in the back? A little gangster lean? Or is it a big field with everyone wearing white, with their hands raised to the air and singing songs? I mean, what's the end visual? What's that visual for you? What's that destination looking like? Where are we taking this? What's the purpose happening here? What is the purpose, and how do you fuel that purpose? I'm in that building zone. I like to, how could we improve this? We got got children coming after, or should I say the next generation. What are we leaving for them to rock with? What's the purpose? So I did this affirmation thing here, and I'm going to share it with you guys. It was actually close to when I did the last episode in the last season, but I didn't really get to go in the zone with it, and I thought I will, jump on it here. And let me see if I can pull up the PDF here. I'm gonna rock with that too. Yeah, I know. I don't have a production crew that's sending me stuff while I'm. I ain't got nobody sending me stuff while I'm doing the show, Well, by the way, I'm not going to do an announcement, but we did do a Muzilog Magazine podcast survey recently, and boy, did those, I don't know, the viewers or the podcast followers, did they come out and vote for their favorite episodes? I was shocked. I didn't know I would see those types of numbers. I was impressed. I mean, truth be told, I thought I would probably get maybe 5 or 10 people taking part. Man, it was more than 100 people. So if you took part in voting for your favorite episode on the Muzilog Magazine podcast, thank you so much for taking part. It helps me to see that I'm not wasting time. Yeah, well, I don't know how else to look at it. But anyway, let's get back to the affirmation thing. I found my PDF thing here. So one day, I was thinking about some positive things to put out there. When I say out there, not necessarily out in space, right? But something I could say every day when I remember. I don't remember to say it every day, obviously, but it's something that I wanted to get into the habit of saying. And the first one is, I am blessed. Yes, I am blessed. And when I say that, I think about the blessings in the small things. Life, health, strength, being in my right mind. Living on the prayers of parents and grandparents and maybe great-grandparents. Maybe I had a great-great-great-grandparent that prayed into the future. And I'm experiencing and receiving that blessing all the way down to me, right? And vice versa, obviously, you want to pay it forward and send blessings to the generation. But the first one is, I am blessed. And then those of you who like Mr. Vegas, shout out to Mr. Vegas. Obviously, I don't know if he's going to be hearing this, but if he does, that's a big party jam. And it's a good party jam to say you're blessed. Yeah, so I'm blessed. The second one is, I am healed. How many of us speak healing into us? we do speak about success and, being, gaining favor and, your season and your blessing and, that whole money vibe, But how many of us, tune into the healing and really say the things that we can be healed? And then the third one I came up with was I am healthy. Look at the sequence. Now, let me put a little disclaimer here. I didn't invent this stuff. All right. So let's just say that I was able to improvise on the different ones that's being said that's out there. There's a lot of affirmations out there and a lot of inspirational readings and inspirational tips and pointers and different gurus talking about stuff. And actually, taking the same information and presenting it in the way that they want to present it. So this is what I'm doing. So I just want to clear that up. I'm not a guru in a robe in sackcloth and ashes on top of a mountain coming up with stuff. Although that's a funny look, by the way. What mountain would that be? But the way I looked at it was to say you're blessed, meaning that you're appreciating life and the little things that you have, and even the big things. The big, if it's a victory and if it's a loss, it's a lesson. So you say you're blessed initially, and then you say you're healed. You got to be healed first, right? To be healthy. So I am blessed. I am healed. I am healthy. And then they say your health is your what? Is your wealth. And that's the fourth one that I thought I would put together. And, I've been messing with these search engines and, some of the AI platforms, to put these programs together sometimes. So obviously the platforms would help you expound on your ideas and give you references and sources that it would pull up within your search. So yes, so these affirmations, these are 4, and feel free to use it too. Maybe there's a way I can put it in the. I'll see if I can put a link to it if you guys want to have the image. Now I have one that I'm looking at where it's an image, or you could just write it down if you want, and create a nice little a Bristol board type sign for yourself, and put it up somewhere in the house. Now I don't have it actually on a wall, but it's something that I just remember. At some point I'll just remember on a certain day, I didn't tune into this today. So these 4 affirmations I'm sharing with my audience, and feel free to use it in whatever version. Switch it around if you want to. But I felt that, in my opinion, that the sequence I have here is a good sequence to work with. I am blessed. I am healed. I am healthy. I am wealthy. And say that a couple times a day. Just do the affirmations and get the bless. So I did get some notes around it, and I could share that with you guys today. Well, this morning. Remember now, it's Anytime, Anyday Radio Show. Yes. So to say I'm blessed is to acknowledge that goodness, favor, and divine grace are already present in your life. It's not just a statement of gratitude for what has happened, but also a declaration that blessings continually flow to and through you. You're surrounded by goodness, even in moments you don't yet understand. Opportunities align in your favor, and the universe conspires for your good. That's basically what's happening. Every experience, joyful or challenging, adds value and wisdom to your life. And you walk in divine favor and blessings. And blessings will chase you down. Could you imagine that? A blessing chasing you down? So that's the blurb on the I am blessed part right there. I thought that was cool. I am healed. And this affirmation goes beyond physical health. And it speaks to the emotional, spiritual, and mental wholeness. When you declare I am healed, you affirm that every cell, thought, and emotion is aligning with balance, peace, and restoration. See, that's what the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show is about, guys. We're here to restore. We're here to build. We're here to replenish. We're here to grow. We're not here to tear down. We're here to progress. So you got to be healed. Every part of my being vibrates with healthy and harmony. Well, with health, and harmony. My body knows how to restore itself, and I allow that process to flow freely. And obviously I'm saying me, but you can address it to yourself as well. Your heart is at peace. Mind is clear. And I'll say the same thing for me. Then you release all past pain and embrace total restoration. I like this last line. It says, healing is not something I seek. It is something I already am. Oh my goodness. That's deep right there. That's deep. So let's check out what the other one says here. I am healthy. It says this affirmation declares that your natural state is vitality and wellness. It invites you to see yourself as strong, vibrant, and full of energy, regardless of temporary appearances. Sometimes I think about that. Sometimes in life, you mightn't be having a good moment or a good day. And, someone says, hey, how are you doing? And you just respond, I'm doing good. And it's really a conditional response. It's a response that we've been learning to say over the years. It's like how some of us learned how to pray. We sort of pray with this particular arrangement of words that we learned, maybe at 4 or 5, you had this prayer that you learned. And the same way, every time someone says, how are you? And you say, I'm doing fine. I'm doing good. and you are speaking it into existence. But is it true in that moment? That's something to think about. Is it something that you can say, all right, can I really share that I'm not doing great? Or should you just say I'm good? Something is going to work out, whatever that might be. So it says here, my body is a temple of strength, balance, and energy. Every breath fills me with life and renewal. I nourish my body with good thoughts, wholesome food, and loving care. Oh, I didn't see the food part coming. I am in tune with my body's needs and respond with wisdom. Health flows through me. I radiate wellness. I like this one. It's good. I like the progression of it. It has like a foreplay vibe to it. It's like you start, nice and simple. You're blessed. Then you get a little more specific. I am healed. Then you get a little more focused. I am healthy. And the last one here, I'm wealthy. Wealth is more than money. It's a state of abundant consciousness. Declaring I'm wealthy aligns you with prosperity in all forms: love, joy, creativity, opportunities, and resources. I like that. That's feeding my soul. See, prosperity isn't just about funds and money, right? We're looking at a bigger picture here. So we're going to expand the meaning here. It says, I live in overflow. There is always more than enough. Abundance flows to me effortlessly from expected and unexpected sources. I manage my resources wisely and generously. My mind is a magnet for prosperity, and my actions are guided by purpose. I'm aligned with infinite supply. I am wealth in motion. Look at that. So this is pretty good, right? It's pretty good. Let me see if this is. I know one of these things had a little editing problem in terms of the information. This one looks like a good one here. Yeah, this one looks. I think I had a version of the poster where some of the words have gotten cut off, so I'm just making sure. So this is the one I'm going to share. I'll do what we call it'd be like a satellite thing, where the link would take you to like a JPEG or something, and then you guys can copy that, or and I can put the PDF version to it. So I'm talking in real time how I can share this. And feel free to share this information, guys. And that's what it's all about, paying it forward. So it says here in integrated declaration. So this passage is where everything is included in terms of what we were looking at just now. I am blessed, healed, healthy, and wealthy. I walk in divine alignment, attracting wholeness in every area of my life. My words create my reality. And my reality reflects my faith. Every day, I rise higher. In gratitude, peace, and abundance. Interesting. There's some good stuff here, guys. So, what is your purpose? Are you someone that needs to fuel your purpose? You know, what are you doing here? You here to build? You here to tear down? You know, what are you here to do? You're here to build when it's convenient, and tear it down because maybe it's not working to a benefit that you see that it's working towards. There was a story recently of a lady getting her hair braided, and apparently they agreed on a price. The lady came through, paid, and the lady that did the braiding apparently felt that she deserved $50 more because maybe because of the quality of hair that she used. Now, what happened next had me thinking, and you wonder, you know. So because the lady didn't agree to give that extra $50, obviously the deal was, I'll come and you'll do this for this price. That's what the person came prepared to pay. Apparently, more needed to be paid. But you made a deal. And, you know, that would have been something, you know, I think about it because, you know, sometimes a situation would happen and it could happen to anyone. You know, you give a price for a job. You know, maybe it's painting a wall or, building a table. Or sometimes I have to sit down and do music for a client. And I might realize, you know, I underpriced the job. Now, I never really had to, change. I never had to do that before. And a lot of times I might, sometimes what may happen is the person I did the job for would add something on. Because even that person realized that they're getting the amount of work that went into this, that they're getting a steal either way. But I never had to delete anything, where someone kind of went left with it and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to delete and I'm going to do it, And so getting back to the story here, and that's why I'm talking about the purpose and how you're going to fuel the purpose. Getting back to the story, the lady that did the hair decided to want to pull the braids out. Unbelievable. For $50, guys. $50. Something where you could just say, look, you know what, don't worry about it. It's cool. Even if you brought it to the person and said, look, guess what? When I gave you this price, it was really for this type of hair, but I used this type of hair instead. Is there any way you can cover me for that? And then now it's up to the person to say yay or nay, or they can say a deal is a deal. And you have to respect that. Are you here to build? Or are you here to tear down? Now, obviously, each story has two sides. Did we just get one side of the story? Is there some other dynamic in there. I don't know. But, some self-reflection as to why you're here can help you avoid getting into a mode that you're not too crazy about. But anyway, guys, this is the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show. I'm Samel, your host. And we're talking about the things I like to talk about. Shout out to the Global Village, to the folks tuning in. What I want to say, guys, is continue to support the platform. And if you need me to support something that you're doing, by all means, connect with me and say, hey, Sam, I'm doing this over here. I like to support other platforms. And those of you who pay attention to, how I rock on, with my platform and everything. Yes, I do have my thing going on, but, I support other platforms. When I remember, it's not like I'm there all day doing it. I'm busy. But when I get a chance, there are a couple of people I would tune in and check out their podcasts or check out the radio show or, stop through and just say, hey, and just really genuinely give that energy a support. Just give that, not like you're doing it because you want to receive something, but just really support people. Just shout it out and let's lift each other up. I want to push that energy out here. So one of the things I want to get back to is last season, we had a poetry competition. We didn't really quite get to situate it. I want to approach it again. I may have to do some additional things, but we had this competition: flowers, smiles, hugs, and hickeys. So everyone had to use this title and come up with a poem. Now, I did have probably about 3 people that did something, or should I say they started something, but I never had a chance to follow up and really get those poems in. And I'm thinking I want to approach it again, and so we're putting it out there. I'm not going to repeat from the old show what it was that brought up this topic. So if you want to learn about that, go to the last season and pull up, listen to the season, and you'll hear I talk about these things. But if you want to jump on the competition, the poetry competition, you have to title it Flowers, Smiles, Hugs, and Hickeys. I must say the stuff I heard from the different people that did something with it, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. So with this new season, I look forward to getting that done. And again, if you are into self-help and if you know some people that are aspiring artists, maybe you go to a particular church and there's a few young people in there that are talented and they need some direction or something that will help them on the journey. I suggest the Hybrid Executive. Get them a copy of that book. You can get the digital version or you can order the physical version. And, get it to the people out there. It's the holiday season. So this would work as a nice gift. And then we still have our business card promotion package, advertise your business. How would folks know that you're out there? Do people know about your company? How do you get more eyeballs on your brand? How do you get the word out about your business? And if you have a good clientele, great. That's good. Maybe you want to grow that clientele. Or maybe you have no clientele at all. If you have no clientele, what are you doing to get your customer sector to grow? What are you doing with that? So that's something that you can look into. And then again, we have the gear. All right, I'm actually drinking my coffee in the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show tumbler. Yeah, so. And it's doing a good job with my coffee this morning. But we have hoodies and T-shirts and other accessories. So, hey, by all means, you want to support the show, get the gear. And you can also type in Samuel Archer Designs, one word, and you should see all my links popping up there, and you can go and see what item you like, and support the brand. All right. So, just want to put that out there. And the next thing I wanted to talk about, as we by the way, this is a 2-hour show, by the way. So when we do this, we hang out for 2 hours. What I could suggest, because some people were, they were implying, hey, the show might be a little too long. Why don't you, chop it up? Well, the show does get edited in smaller versions in terms of the time. If you go to the YouTube channel, Samuel E. Archer, and you go to the Reels tab, or is it Shorts? I think it's Shorts, as in SHORTS. Let me fact check that really quick here. Because each platform, I'm in so many different platforms, and they have different rules. One says tomato, one says tomato, right? One says potato, one says patate. Yes, so you're going to go under the shorts. You go into the shorts window, and if you scroll through there, you'll see the interviews. A lot of the interviews are being chopped up there. You wouldn't really see the last season shows. Oh, well, I had to scroll all the way down here. So I am seeing some of the stuff from the last season, but you'll have to scroll down, because majority of what you're going to see, if you go to the page right now, you'll primarily see shorts of the interviews that have been edited into smaller bite sizes. And this actual show, you'll see that eventually. So that's the thing you'd want to be working with, to just get a shorter version. And you can edit it yourself, just listen to some here and listen to some there, if you want to support the show. All right, so that's up to you. All right, so let me prep myself here for. Oh wow, we're an hour and 24 minutes in. Look at that, guys. We're like really doing it here. Yeah, sometimes I have a little moment here. bear with me for a quick second. Let me, here we go. Yeah, so let's get our purpose fuel thing here. We're going to continue our purpose fuel. You know, one of the things I tapped into is when you're achieving, you're going after something, a lot of times it's a lonely road. And I remember touching on this last season. So it's a lonely road. It's not that it's lonely. Obviously, you're going to have people in your life, but your vision and your path is something that you continually have to encourage yourself. You have to, you'd have a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? You'd have distractions. You'd have detractions. In some aspects, you're going to procrastinate. It's a continual battle with yourself. You know, you got to keep pushing, and it's easy to give in sometimes if things are going in another direction. But you want to, encourage yourself to stay on course. So again, we want to fuel our purpose. All right. And something came to mind when I was prepping for this title here. You know, there is a moment where a creative person could experience a level of vulnerability. And then there's somewhat of a sifting, and the sifting has to do with either people being sifted out of your life. Some people are in your life for a season. Some are in it for a lifetime. It all depends on how it turns out. And it's a challenge. It's a challenge as a creative. So the first one says here, growth changes your vibration and direction. And again, this is we're extending from the affirmations here. All right. And if you're now coming into the show, you might have to do a little rewind later on. Stay with us, stick with us as we're going through here. It's the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show with your host, Samuel Archer. Shout out to the International Village. Shout out to the Straight Shooters, the Anytimers, and the Cyber Life Junkie people, You're tuned in and you're rocking with me, and I'm happy to have you here as you're listening to the guy with the soothing voice. And we talk about the things I like to talk about. And we will continue to spread love the Brooklyn way. So, coming back to the topic here that we're expanding, fueling our purpose, or purpose fuel. When you start aligning with your purpose, becoming more intentional, disciplined, spiritually aware, or emotionally healthy, you naturally shift your frequency. People who were aligned with your older version may no longer match where you're going. Wow. That's a bar. That's a bar right there. Let me read that again. When you start aligning with your purpose, becoming more intentional, disciplined, spiritually aware, or emotionally healthy, you naturally shift your frequency. People who were aligned with your older version may no longer match where you're going. It's not about superiority, it's about resonance. Growth creates a new rhythm, and not everyone can dance to it. It is crazy. So growth changes your vibration and your direction. So the other point I have here, it says, the sifting phase isn't punishment, it's preparation. That sounds serious. That sounds like a Joe Fraser moment. Many people think they're losing people, but what's actually happening is that life is making space for what's needed next. What's needed next could be new mentors, healthier relationships, clearer boundaries, increased focus, and opportunities that require emotional maturity. I like that. But I don't know if I like it. But I kind of like what it says. The sifting phase isn't punishment; it's preparation. I would hear people talk about rappers. You used to be in the hood, you're not here anymore. Rappers moved out. They probably moved to, when I lived in New York, a place that a lot of artists would move to would be New Jersey. Either New Jersey or Long Island or Connecticut. They would move somewhere and you're like, hey, why are you not here anymore? But it's a good thing to think about. So you're not really losing people, but you're just creating space for the next phase. Really good. Your purpose often requires a lighter load. Some connections, even loved ones, can't travel with you into the next chapter. And that is really, really true. I look back at my life. There were people that I hung out with in high school. Then that changed in my early 20s. It's a whole different thing. And then in my 30s, a whole different thing. Now, some people sort of remained in, they'll just be in the mix as you go. In fact, some people would fall off and then and regain connection with you later on, so you meet at the crossroads at certain points in your life. So yeah, the sifting phase isn't punishment, it's preparation. Good points here, Your growth confronts their comfort zones. So the people that are in your life, their comfort zone is confronted. That's what it's saying here. When you change, it can unintentionally highlight the areas where others feel stuck. This can trigger distance, jealousy, misunderstandings, resistance, passive-aggressive behavior. And he goes on to say, people aren't always trying to hurt you. Sometimes they just don't know how to relate to your evolution. That's deep. I get a a flashback to the Martha Stewart movie. She's a mover and a shaker. And in her younger years, again, you'd have that sort of a sifting, even with her relationships. So, yes, your growth confronts their comfort zones. Interesting. Food for thought. So in your journey, who are the people that remain as a constant as you grow, and who are the people that aren't really in your mix anymore? And again, that's for you to think about. This is about a purpose fuel. And this title, Purpose Fuel, sounds like a T-shirt. Yeah, I think I might want to rock a T-shirt vibe on this. Purpose Fuel. I think it would be a good conversation piece. Someone might be like, "What is purpose fuel?" And you can talk about it. Not everyone is meant for every season. Not everyone is meant for every season. Some relationships are lifetime, but many are seasonal or purpose specific. Some people are there to help you survive. Some are there to help you transform. And some are only there until you awaken. That's a bar. In the interview I did with Nikki G that I spoke about earlier, I give this experience about a teacher that I had a run-in with. And, you can go to the interview and check out the story. I'm not going to restate it here. But in the end, I talk about, a happy ending in terms of the whole story. It wasn't that we fell out and then we stayed in that frame of mind. We actually were able to talk and, just catch up and sometimes in terms of what it says here, some are there to help you transform. I think that experience, whether it was intentional or not, it helped me to transform. It helped me to mature. When you got to grow, you got to mature, you got to learn new things. And I definitely learned some new things in that experience. So yes, not everyone is meant for every season. Some are there to help you transform. Some are only there until you awaken. When you awake, things are going to be changing. And some of the people that are there, they they get sifted out. And it's not something that you just purposely go and cut people off. That's not what this is saying. This is just a natural occurrence as you evolve, as you grow. Some people would be there as a constant, and then you just have those that are there on a seasonal or a purpose-specific reason as you go forward. And it says here, and once their role is complete, life gently, and then in brackets it says, or sometimes abruptly, moves them out of the way. It's kind of deep. It's kind of deep right there. So, in many cases, you don't have to do anything, but just evolve and grow and fuel your purpose. Get that purpose fuel going. Now I'm thinking purpose fuel as a t-shirt and maybe as an energy drink. Is there an energy drink called purpose fuel? A coffee flavor and a chocolate flavor? Letting go doesn't mean cutting off. This shift doesn't always require conflict. Often it just requires creating emotional distance, redefining boundaries, accepting changed dynamics, and releasing expectations. Letting go doesn't mean cutting off. Now, I'm also wondering if you're on a journey and you may have a friend or two that realize that things have changed. They're somewhat sifted out of your life a little bit. Maybe there's some sort of a feelings. I used to hang with us before. You're somebody now. People throw that at you. You didn't really purposely cut anybody off, right? It just turned out that way. People realize that, okay, it's a whole, you're on a different path. But if they get sifted out, coming back to my point, do they understand that's what's happening? That you're going to be at a different level? Or do they just continue to sulk and feel, hey, hook a brother up? And it also happens with, you might have a family member that probably, came into some sort of a settlement, or came into some money or some opportunity. And then they become the cash cow for the family. Oh, so-and-so just got a settlement. Let me go ask for some money, right? That might happen. Sometimes that family member has to make certain choices to keep some of the money for a rainy day. But, in the bottom here it says, you don't need to force anyone out. You simply stop shrinking and stop dimming yourself, and the relationships realign naturally. See? So it's not like you're going to be, cutting people out naturally, or cutting people out I got to cut this, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. It really comes down to just life naturally turning and things changing. People going in different directions. And it's not personal. Though some people want to think it might be a personal thing, it's not a personal thing all the time. Sometimes it's just how it went. It says here, new aligned people will find you. When you step into your purpose, you will attract people who understand growth, people who match your mindset, people who don't feel threatened by your evolution, and people who expand you rather than limit you. This is some good food for thought. Good self-reflection. Are you meeting people that understand the growth? Can they match your mindset? Do they feel threatened by how you're changing? That one, in terms of feeling threatened in your evolution, I think that's a really tough one. Where there are people in your life, and then things change, and then they start getting worried. But the people that care about you, the people that love you, if they feel, this person is stepping into a new situation, even though they may get sifted out naturally, they still send positive energy to you. And that's a good thing. And I'm hoping, I'm hoping that's the vibe you have around you. That people still sending you positive energy. I think that's a good thing. The replacement effect is real, but it usually happens after the uncomfortable letting go phase. So let's see here. That was kind of like the overview. And, if you were going to wonder, hey, why does growth change your relationships? Why is it, is it because the people in your life might feel there was an investment made, they made an investment in you, whatever that might be. Again, we're being general, nothing specific. Investment might just be time. They just, there was someone that would look out, hey, check out this, check out that, check out the other, So it says purpose isn't just something you find. It's something you grow into. So it's not like you're finding something. It's just that you're evolving into who you're supposed to be. And as you grow, you vibrate differently, think differently, you choose differently, your priorities shift, your boundaries strengthen, and your awareness heightens. When this happens, some relationships simply can't stay the same. It's not about arrogance, it's about alignment. Yes. Every relationship in your life was connected to a version of you. When that version changes, the relationship must either evolve, stretch, or gently dissolve. And often, life does the dissolving for you. Oh, that's a hard reality right there. That's kind of rough, guys. That's some, but it's good food for thought, by the way. Good food for thought. There's here the spiritual purpose of sifting. You're getting biblical here. Look at that. There's a scripture that says everything that can be shaken will be shaken. Whether you're spiritual, religious, or neither, the concept is universal. Growth shakes loose what can't stay. The sifting isn't punishment. Again, it's preparation. Remember, we spoke about that a few minutes ago. You cannot rise without release. You cannot elevate while carrying weight that belongs to the old you. That's hectic. Some relationships were meant for comfort and not calling. Some were meant for survival, not expansion. And some were meant to teach and not travel with you forever. When your purpose calls, anything not connected to that purpose begins to fall away. That's a bar, guys. That's a bar. Anyway, this is the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show. I'm Samel Archer, your host. And we're talking about the things I like to talk about. I like these types of topics. These topics, make me think and help me to elevate. I love to do the elevate thing. And I don't need to use any strong wrapped in paper stuff to elevate. I elevate naturally. Although I might drink some coffee sometimes, I think in the last couple of episodes in the last season, I did talk about my experience with changing from sugar to the alternatives and improving that part of life and seeing my body making adjustments, but for the better, So check out those episodes where I talk about the whole sugar vibe. So yes, you want to get it together and continue to support the platform. If you haven't subscribed yet, please. And, you can also support in a really simple way. One of the things we do is we need some, one of the things we need, is that we need some comments on some of those episodes. I need you guys to go out there and jump on the YouTube pages and just share something, leave a comment. Leave a thumbs up, leave a something, so be sure to get that going. And again, if you think there's a topic that we can chop it up to over here, by all means, shoot me an email or leave a comment on Muzilog on Facebook. All right, we'll work it out there. So, back to our purpose fueling conversation. You got to fuel your purpose. How do you deal with your relationships when you evolve? What sort of frame of mind you go into? And a lot of times, these are people that, there's a mutual caring about these people. You care for these people, they care for you. And, sometimes they take you as far as they can take you. Or vice versa. You take them as far as you can take them. And then life changes and, someone gets to that other level. How do you work that out? So the other point says, when your growth confronts their comfort zones, sometimes people don't step back because you've done something wrong. Remember we spoke about your growth confronting the comfort zones of the friends around you? So they step back because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. That's kind of interesting. So, if you have someone in your circle that's evolving into that next, they're growing to that next level, how does that remind you of being stagnant? Is it because they're getting ahead and you're not getting ahead? So you feel stagnant? That's your comfort zone being confronted here. And it says here, your healing highlights their wounds. Your courage exposes their fear. Your clarity threatens their excuses. Now this, what I just read, I can certainly relate. I can certainly relate to that. But it says here, your growth is not an attack. It's an invitation, whether they accept it or not. Wow. Profound. When they can't or won't rise with you, distance forms. So they get distant if they can't rise with you or they won't rise with you. So I guess there's a line that they won't cross. I'm hoping for the sake of myself that if things do change with anyone in my circle, that I can continue to support them as they grow. Directly, indirectly, or, just shooting that support. Somebody got to make it to the finish line, right? Make it to the finish line. Please do. Not everyone is meant for every season, and that was part of the overview we looked at. We often think relationships should last forever, but nature teaches us differently. Nature does teach us differently. There are lifetime people, seasonal people, and purpose-driven people. Some were meant to walk you through childhood or hardship. Some were meant to be sparked by a shared vision of you that no longer exists. Some were meant to stay only long enough for you to awaken. When their season ends, the love doesn't have to, but the closeness might. And it says here, that's okay. Talk about a topic that sort of rocks the boat a little bit. Yeah, so you guys have to check your relationships out. You gotta check out your, check out your purpose. Check out, why. Get back to your why. That's important. So yeah, man, fuel your purpose. This is the Anytime, Anyday Radio Show. Again, I want to shout out the International Village. And we are continuing to spread love the Brooklyn way and talk about the things I like to talk about. If you haven't subscribed yet, I want to encourage you to subscribe. We need our numbers to grow. And really, if you like what this is doing, your support is what's going to take it there. Now, there was some shout out to Tanji, one of my colleagues out there. There were some coffee companies that she actually put me onto, some coffee situations. So I need to jump on that. We need to get that coffee sponsor vibe going. And I may have to order some Postum. I'm missing the Postum taste. I remember tasting Postum in my younger years. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm old or anything. I'm older, yes. And Postum was a nice, really, really nice drink. I think I want to vibe with some Postum in the future. Get some Postum, and now I'm doing that alternative sugar thing. It's a beautiful thing. Really, really beautiful thing. Yeah. So again, a lot of what I spoke about, you will find the links in the description. Take some time to check that out. And, continue to spread love the Brooklyn way. Shout out to my Anytimers, the Straight Shooters, and Cyberlife Junkie. Welcome back to the new season of the radio show. And I look forward to your support and your responses. Peace!
You're listening to Muzilog Muzik Radio, home of indie artists.
Keep it locked.